And this is where I've realized a lot of us are stuck in 4D, hence why they say from 3D to 5D, because there is a jump coming soon, because love is the only thing that wins. And the technology that now is caught up with the understanding of love, it wouldn't work with any other way. So watch this. So we go down 3 levels. This is the pyramid. Now we have to go back up. So when I'm doing now my meditation, this is how I explain it to people. Right, so you start from the soul. So every day the soul sets in the mind, and then the mind sets in the body. So as the soul comes down to save you, comes down, you then set intentions the night before. Those tensions are now in the energy in the soil. So the 3D is the soil, that's the ground when you start. But before that, you've had the thoughts and you've had the awareness. So you do all that the night before. Remember, it's ahead of time. You present it, you presented it, and now you're present. That is the gift. You've already done it all before. That's why things don't feel right, because your soul is not then aligned with your mind, and then that disruption in your body. It's like the films with the hidden treasures, and then the light unlocks the door. For the light to work, it has to all come through one. Otherwise, it blocks it off. That's how keys work. So you become the gatekeeper to your mind. What comes into it and what leaves it. So as it comes down, we're stuck in this lower end of the soil. It's like our head's below the ground. We haven't woke up yet. Everything feels so heavy. I feel groggy. I feel stuck. Yeah, you're stuck in the mud. So every day you set intentions, you plant your seed. So the soul starts there. You plant your seed. Now your seed for growth, you need to work your way back up the body again. If we went down on a 2-dimension and we're going down to 6D or 5D, you got a long way to work back up again. And if you haven't got the understanding how the body works, your body's going to be tiring. So you don't have to come down too far to go back up again. That's why there's no rush. And if you realize this is just one part of the experience, you chose this body for this time because this part in the Great Awakening, your body's going to be really beneficial. In fact, your body's going to experience things that you've never experienced before, and you're going to have these explosions and eruptions of just magic. And in that whole process, you're going to be able to realize, I've been through all this. I made all these choices. I went through hell, and now I'm in heaven, all in my human experience. So this is the other thing. Anyone that talks outside of 5D, there's no point. What is the point at the moment? The human experience is 5 dimensions, and I'll show you why. So you plant the seed, the sun comes down, the Son of God. So God from the sky, now the Son of God, the soul, comes down. The soul, S-O-L, you start from the eye now, because now you're in the human experience. You come through the eye. You pass through the mind's eye, so you're now eye at the bottom. Soul, S-O-L, plus I is soil. The roots at the foundation, stuck in the roots. So you planted your seed from the night before, the intentions. Now you've got to let it manifest. You've got to let it grow in abundance. And it's the same as the mind. Whatever you plant in the mind grows in abundance. You put fear in that mind, and then all the illnesses and disruption, disease grows in the body. So again, going back to the soul always. If your body is not working for you, if you have injuries, if you're getting sick, if your body's feeling anxious, there's something at the mind first. Go back up to the mind. Go back up a level. There's less to focus on up there as well. Yes, no. Love, fear. Soul, ego. Okay. Well, if it's my ego, what's the truth then? Well, I need to leave this person. How am I going to do that? Ego, soul, ego, soul. You go down levels, you come back up again. No rush. You're exactly where you're meant to be. So ready, when I'm doing my meditation, we do it like this. So, soul 1D, going through the mind 2D, but the mind is with the body. It comes as a partnership. Once I've understood fear or love, then I feel it in my body, rest in my body. So any gut feeling now communicates back up to my mind. The senses stimulate the body. I smell something, and then the thought of that memory comes. I see something, and it flashes up memory. So the body works back up with the mind. If the mind's clear, it's a clear path down, then anything that happens in your body, which is the truth, your feelings, is a direct signal back up again. So if something doesn't feel right in there, it means, oh, something's got through my mind, my gatekeeper. I've made a mistake here. I need to make a U-turn. If it comes back up, I now have a choice again. If it's not love, it can't come up any further, because love now, people, is 4D. And I'm going to show you why that's so important, because if we just go here, if we look at your chakra system, the fourth one down, in the middle is your heart. The fourth one up is your heart. So at the center of the universe, that's your soul's optimal. Always come from the heart. So we can skip all these bits. Have I done this? Have I done? If I'm in the heart and my body's feeling great, my mind's clear, all this has already been achieved. I just go straight to that feeling. In the speed of light, I know it's a no in. And if it's not a no in, you say no, the next level up. No, change it. Come back down again, go back up. Sunset, soul rise. So the sun rises up the body. And this time, when it's now in the heart, and you go think below the heart, you've gone solar system, heart. So now from the heart, what takes place from the heart? That's your God space here. Creation. You only can create when you're in that heart space. When there's no mind, look, the mind's up there still. The mind's out the way. We've already bypassed the mind, we set. Every day's a new day. I come straight up to the heart today. I don't let the mind get involved at this point. The only time I let the mind get involved, and this is what 4D, it's the C's. And if you look at the heart, there's 4 chambers of the heart. So the C's that I've come up with at the moment, and it needs a bit of adjusting. The C's that I've come up with is creation, connection, I don't know where my paper is, compassion, and critical thinking. I'm going to call it change is also there. Like it's all the C's. Again, I'm going to master this and put it into my own way. But it's creation. Effectively, anything that you love, what area of the body is love? Oh, your heart. Anything that you do with passion, that is God instantly. You don't have to think about it. Time disappears. There's no such thing as time in the heart, in the body. It's always from the heart. And watch this. Because I'm still in my body, when I feel it now, I get to speak it. And my mind still doesn't get in the way. I can hear the ego going off, waiting, but I don't let it get up there. What do I feel first? That comes first. What's that gut feeling? What's that knowing? Okay, let me make sense of this at the moment. It still feels right. I'm going to say it. I'm going to speak it. I speak from my heart. That's the truth. But what do? We go straight from the mind. We forget our feelings. We don't even get that. So we just go straight to the mind. Mind's leading the way again. Past it. It's like we forget the soul. So speak thoughts, feelings, creation. Okay, so this is where it's important. You can have someone teaching you this and they go down to 4D and this is 5D. But if they're moaning, if they're comparing, if they're judging, they're not speaking from experience. They're speaking from the mind, which is up here, or the human experience. Human experience is feelings. So I've realized now the whole role of the soul for the human experience. So first of all, it's just fear or love. Okay, I've got that. I've mastered that now. 2D is quite simple. I can break that in words, positive, negative. I can break that in a body. I can protect, or I can go into flow. You can do that from love, fear or love. It's quite simple. Mastered that one. Now body, mind, and soul. Body is the feelings. This is a new thing for me now as a soul. I've never had feelings before. So my whole life is feelings. I've had when I'm younger without their presence, I've had all these horrible moments and these whole spectrums, and I saw anger, red mist, I was upset and I was worried, a full spectrum. And then when I started getting conscious of this, I realized that I don't personally have to have that experience to have those emotions. I'm a soul now. I'm now sharing the space with you. So if you've been in some darkness, that you're now speaking your truth from your heart, getting it out in the open, which is a truth. You've got someone else to receive that energy from you and just keep it flowing. You now have someone to understand, because I'm with you. I'm with your heart underneath your body. In standing, stand in. So all these words just make sense with the mind too. So everything from 4D. So what is from the heart if I'm teaching? It has to be with passion. It's got to be with purpose. If I'm just doing it based on what I did 20 years ago, and there was personal trainers, I was Olympic champion, I was a gold medalist, they were fat, they were lazy, they were miserable, they were lethargic. There was no passion. When I go to church and I want to hear these stories of God, and I was really excited to go, and these people are telling you the word of God and Jesus is going to save you, and I'm looking at him, it's like, where's the energy? All mind. It's just talking a good game. All mind. There's no feelings though. By the time it gets to 4D, it's only truth. So people, if you're at this stage now, let's look at what we're being presented with. Anyone presenting you information, they're sharing. They're describing, they're the scribes of this moment of time. But if they're coming from a negative place, you know it's not a truth. It cannot be. The information is up here. The information you're getting, but it doesn't make sense with me. Even if it doesn't mean anything at the moment, you haven't seen that country, you haven't heard of that person, but it doesn't feel right, it's not. And we fight against that. So we are the ones that need to wake up from this dimension. The people in 3D, they're going to be stuck. They're not coming with it. They will. They're being guided by the TV, being guided by us. They're being shown exactly what they need to be shown. Predictable behavior. It's mind programming. And this is where we've been stuck for our evolution. So if we looked at the countries going down, we haven't been able to go any lower because we're not ready for the unknown yet. We've got to come back up and clear the way. So when I do the meditation now, meditation has to be a feeling, but to reach enlightenment, and again, that word's got too many attachments. You talk about enlightenment. Enlightenment is just this. Look, body's in alignment, comes back up the body. It's an enlightened body now. I'm feeling it from my heart. My energy's come up to my throat chakra. The next one up then is my third eye. But it's illuminated this time. It's done the journey. So my inner kingdom now is lit up from within. It's magic. And now I can look down and think, whoa, look at the depths of here. Look at this space for discovery, a new world, a new reality inwards. And all these answers, look how far I can go down, and look what I've got. Well, I've got all the time, because time is a mind concept. So when we come back up 5D, so when I'm talking to you guys in the meditative states and you're in that flow, you've done the journey. You come back up and you're here. At enlightened mind. How do you know your mind's enlightened? Because your body feels at peace. Sometimes the body feels empty. It's like the arms feel like they're missing. No body. No mind has to be from no body because it's one. Mind sets the body. So whenever there's no body, your mind knows the body. Your mind is calm. So instead of all that busyness, BC, you're now busy creating from the feelings that have been created inside your body, from your heart creative space, your mind now, which is what the duality was for, the yin and yang. Busy is darkness. White is creation. The mind, either or. The mind is so magic, it's got this imagination in magic. Imagination. In magic. It has a choice. But for the mind to get the inspiration, it needs to be felt from the body. It's layers. So 3D experience, the reason why I'm here, We go into 4D from the heart, and then we go out back as the spirit, back as the soul, back as the truth. But I've already had all these experiences. Now I'm having a human experience consciously. Christ conscious is 33 vertebrae crossing over, dying, leaving the body in hell, all the way down, and now you're halo. It's all in plain sight. All in plain sight. So that's the route of 1D to 5D. I don't feel we need to go into 6D yet. However, 6D is quantum. 6D now is where I feel that a lot of my mind thought processes are going, because it's perspective. And that's what I now realize is looking through all the different perspectives. The soul being at this state in 5D is the feeling of wholeness, is the human experience. However, quantum takes it out of the body. Quantum now quantifies all things outside of ourselves too. Quantify things now looks at timelines and emergence, and they've got a different path. But if they made these choices, we're moving at the speed of light. It does not make sense unless you've had all these other experiences. And you could have a glimpse, when sometimes we have a magical moment and people are like, I found God that night, or I had the meeting with Jesus, and it's a one-off, and now they're enlightened. No, this is every day, people. Every day I feel like this, working, understanding, but I'm not rushing going down now. I'm coming back up because my body's enlightened, my mind's creating, my understanding so much, and now I'm going back down. What can I learn more about my body? Whoa, there's so much more about my body. My positive thinking, my words are influencing it. I'm now, and it's almost, where things are just meant to be. And we're fighting all the time with the mind, and we're not in the right place, we're not doing the right thing. But now my body's doing the same stuff, but I'm learning more. I'm making more sense of it. I'm appreciating, actually, I don't need to be going anywhere or doing anything, because I know what my purpose is right now. Learn more, get the experience, so I can start sharing straight away by the time we all get to 5D. Because we're at a point now, we're getting so aware that we can see, once you come up to the heart space and you realize any negativity from the words, it's 3D, it doesn't ring true. It doesn't feel right. So you're choosing to go back down to 3D. Our life we spend in 3D, we treat ourselves as the body, as the mind. We just look at it as in isolation. It's only us. So when we die in fear, because fear is 3D, 4D is not fear. It can't be. 5D skips the 4D, but you need the 4D for the meaning. 5D meditation takes you straight up. So when we're there, then the soul coaching comes in, right, we're here now. This is the fast track to it, but let's make sense of it. Body, mind, soul. Heart center. Take your attention to your heart center. Take your attention to the base of your spine. Work your way up. There's your sacral space. There's your solar plexus. There's your heart center. At the core, you in the universe, the sun and all the solar systems and planets move around you. Now at your third eye, the all-seeing eye, the intuition, the in-light, eyesight, insight. Can you see where all the words now start making sense? So all this knowledge comes when I'm taking you through the meditations. And as I imagine this going down, I'm now getting more familiar with all these levels. And now something else pops up. I'm like, oh, where does that fit in? Oh, that may be the next part then, or that bit. So I'm staying here in 5D at the moment, trying to take some understanding with the quantum. And that's where manifesting the stuff really kicks in. What you put in comes out. But for that all to work properly, you have to go through, like baseball. You go through the bases. You have to go through everyone to get your home run when you back up. So this is where mastering comes in. Let's look at just the 3 dimensions. So look, the spiritual being is 5D, the 4D is creation from the mind. But we don't have to worry about that. So we go down to 5D. We've had the experience now in meditation. In the meditation, I had insights. I bring that to the mind now. What does that mean? What's my plan of action? Action is the soul. Plan is the mind. What's my plan of action so I can shine my light? Then I got to create a plan. I got to architect a design. And then I get the feelings that I'm enjoying all of this process at the moment. So I can go back up to 5D and then go back down again. Then we live life in 3D again because we're having a human experience. We chose this part. So this is what I love now, is I don't want to go anywhere else because I realize how most of my life's been unconscious. I realized that I'm experiencing highs now that I never had. And I'm a few years into this, and it's only been the last few months where I'm understanding even more so. And now I'm even imagine 10 more years where I can openly have more conversations, I can get access to more information, more people are going to be starting to have these experiences, and I can do that in a safe environment. I can do that in a world where I know that you're not going to get killed because you're connecting with God. You're not going to get hunted down because you're putting out truth. You're not going to have people trying to break into your space with intel, with evil, with deceivers to take what's yours, which is your gold. The I in gold is God. Take that out. Gold, God, good. So all of a sudden now it's like, well, let me master this experience. So living in 5D as the spiritual being, I just say meditation every day. I've hit my 5D. It doesn't need to be anything extravagant. It doesn't have to be hour sessions. It's just let me go into that space. And people, 5D, if you start doing these things in awareness, the other stuff that you do in that flow state, that is 5D without the awareness. So when you're walking the dogs and you're being all silly with them, and some people say that is the only time where they feel like they're their 100% self, when they're with their dogs. That's God, that's a mirror. When you're dancing, when you're singing, when you're listening to old music, when you're watching your kids in the moment, all of that, but do it now while you're present too. And you'll learn so much more. You'll realize what you were missing out on. You'll pick up different things where it's like, wow, your kids are in this mode without them even realizing. If you can spot it and see it and experience it and don't rush it, and then say, look what you did there. Did you notice it? What did you think about that? Then you can learn from them. They're God too. We learn from, everyone's our teacher. If it's from love, and we as the king asking questions as king, we can get our answers. The way that they put into words might not make sense, but they can work on images. Give a kid a pencil and some of these kids can draw divine creations. That's God. They're closer to source. They haven't had the mind corrupted yet. And if you look at learning from a screen and we're going down, we're learning from adults. The adults are speaking down to the children. We're speaking down like we know. But it's what we think, it's what we believe. What we know, we wouldn't be telling them, do this, don't do that. We would be sharing with them. What do you think about the right choice is? What would happen if you made a more empowering choice? What more empowering choices could you decide on? What took place then? How did it make you feel? What would you do differently next time? What did you learn about it? That's living in 4D, people, asking those questions. Remember, you're the king of your crown. So nothing changes. And I said it in my meditation. I realized today, I was trying to explain it in the meditation. This is a presentation from mind. I'm speaking too much mind. So meditations, I'm going to simplify it even more. So we just get the images, really. Remember, the soul is yes or no. And then the body is just feelings from the soul. It feels right. Okay. It is right because the mind makes sense too. Makes sense in the body, senses. And then pre-sense, yeah, it still rings true as well. Layers. All the way down, all the way up. So I feel now that the human experience has gone all the way down to the bottom of the earth. They found the North Pole, which is actually, the North Pole is at the lowest point because it's snowy. But when the sun makes it down there, you have then the 3-day equinox. Jesus died on the cross, and then works its way back up again. They're the poles, but the North Pole was at the bottom. And then they found out, oh, there's another ring around the ice pole now. Antarctica. That's the 7th continent. 7 down. We've now come all the way down. We come all the way up. And then to come back up at the top, where it finishes in Israel, it had to come through the heart center. So truth only wins from this point. Hence, everything now from the top, look, you're looking down. You can see anyone trying to get up to you. Once you go from the heart, people, anything that doesn't resonate is below you. So they either use other people to come up there because you can't fake love, or you become the protector of it. No, you're not coming into my kingdom now. That's the protector of the mind. So again, you're always from a bird's eye view looking down. It makes sense. Look at the bigger perspective, the higher perspective. You're God. This is your creation, everything in it. Everything outside of you is being left clues for you, so you can have this experience. So I then looked at the shapes of the, so this is 2D, what we get in understanding, how we do as humans. But in 4D, we should be learning in 3 dimensionals. So it has to have feelings to it. I have to have an experience. Soul is experience, mind is creation, and body is feelings and memories. You feel those sensations in the body, senses. So it has to be them 3. So now I've worked out here. So let's use the triangle still. This one. So this is us now in 4D looking at this shape in 3D. Look, 3D. And this is, again, where my fitness comes in. Duppy, drop. Hey, Harry, I'm really struggling. I lost my job and I feel like absolute failure. Okay, so use the same logic. Go straight to meditation, Duppy, drop. Meditation, look at the root. Watch. And again, the soul is with meditation, goes like this. Boom, boom. So you're already illuminated in the meditation. You've skipped all this. So where's the mind? Oh, you've now got a choice of it. To go through there, the mind had to go through creation. So your soul's set in the mind at this point. You ask your soul in the meditation, what do I want? I want this. You create it and the body feels it. So if you're feeling down, anyone, if you're feeling ill, meditation. And it's funny because I've worked with a lot of people. I've simplified my coaching so much now that I don't coach many people now because my answers are so simple. They don't want that. People choose to still have it. And the reason why we choose to still have it is because we don't understand it. So rather than knowing that we can go down and look down and then make sense of it, we're now having to be stuck in it. We choose to get stuck. We're never stuck. It's only a choice. We're never addicted. We choose. We're addicted to bad choices. But we choose. If you really want the truth, meditate. In the meditation, listen to my words. I'm coaching your soul, which then makes sense for your mind, which then is felt inside the body, which then brings it back up to the mind as the choice. Feel love, back up to oneness with the soul. That's the way that I work on the meditations. I come down, right, just one breath. Start at the base of your spine, clear the airways, clear the path. Now come into this body, bring yourself to this moment. Bring yourself to the heart center. Notice that feeling. Speak from that feeling. What is that feeling? How would you describe that feeling? That's how I work. I use these images and I ask my questions based on, okay, what's this one? With your next step, you're healing the ground, grounding. When your spirit comes up within you through the souls, in spirit, spirit within. I just use images now. So I wish I was told to learn like this when I was younger. We have to look at tables and you have to remember. Again, we go straight to the mind without the experience. If we use the senses for kids, so this mums and dads, don't make it overcomplicated. Experience. We become the shepherds to their development. Our shepherding is the environment we create for them. We become the gardeners. We take them to the beach. We take them to the forest. We take them to the city. We might not like it, but if you did it all in awareness and you was curious and you saw their excitement about going on the trip, it would be the best city trip you'd ever go on. Because you're learning too. You're both souls have an experience. It changes everything. And what does this all come back to? Meditation. All this stuff happens in meditation, but it's like, so you don't have to go down the layers and then make sense of it. You have it first. And then we can work our way back. What did that mean to you? Well, I felt this. I saw this. Okay, what did that mean? And then you start going on it. So look at this, the 3D. This is where mastery comes in. So we can go down, and I like this one here. So in a 2D, you can keep going down. But 5D and then 6D, it's a long way to come back up again. It's a lot of work going down, coming up. So just go to 3D. So to start with, in a 2D, the sun comes down, the mind and sun. So it's on 2 levels. Now you've got mind, body, soul. But you realize the sun's light, so it can travel quicker than the thoughts and the physical. So it comes back up. So you go down, then come back up. Let me just put this in front, a line. No. So 3D, this is how we then start working on mastery at the 3D. Let's forget the 4D at the moment. We know about it now. We're having the feelings, and meditation will be helping. You meet in the middle. You meet at the horizon. Father Sky, Mother Earth. You get born by the mother. You come up through the human to reconnect with the Father. Again, all in plain sight. So you come down 3 levels. So now I'm having this human experience. I'm learning, right, my body, my mind, and my soul. I've got a lot more to learn about my body, but my body is really basic. It's from a feeling. My mind is the bit that gets in the way, but the mind gives it meaning to make sense to come back to the body. So I've worked out. Let's then look at from 4D, because we're doing it from heart space. And this is where we are now. And this is what my next course is going to be. It's on these levels. And not that one. But can you see where people are like, oh, Illuminati's bad and stuff? And it's like, the reason why they're scared of all this, because this goes into a deeper level of knowing God. Just get the right one here. Okay, so look at this. So this is now a 4D shape. Remember when they rub it in our faces? We got a flat screen TV. And then they bring out 3D glasses, and then it's 4D. And you're like, wow, this technology is 4D. It's just showing what we're capable of. If we went and learned, okay, the soul, and you enhance even more. It's like we skipped it and feel like we're going back a step. But yet if we started from the top, no, it's only getting better and better. So look at this triangle. So remember, we're only going for 3 levels, right? And this just shows you then the complexity of life. The more you go down in dimensions, the more things to focus on. You can only reach mastery when you illuminate the whole temple. So from the 2D going down, right, I've illuminated that. I've got a knowing of it. I understand it. It makes sense. Haven't had the experience though. That's the soul. So I have to go back up through it all to make sense, which can take time. And in the human life, I've got all my feelings, all my emotions, the rainbow. And I realized even all the coloring, you know, even the Epstein temple, listen to this. What colors is it? It's blue. What colors on the Star of Israel? It's blue. When the Hawaii attacks on, what color was the ruse where they said it protected you? It was blue. What did they do in that temple? Okay, it's still got God. What's the pedo logo? Oh, it's a blue spiral. So it's in God's hands. It's in God's creation. So all these horrible things, trust, it's fine. We're learning. It will never happen again. But God is there every step of the way. That star Israel, 666, it's on 6 sides. 6D, quantum, truth, transparency. Right at the top of the Christmas tree, the Star of David, Christmas tree. Look at the pyramid and a Christmas tree. You have levels down, you shine your lights, you work your way back up. The tree's not complete until that star's at the top. So look, 3 levels down, we got 4 sides to work on. So if we make it simple, 3 of those sides, body, mind, soul, for a human. So from the 3 perspectives, and then the 4th one, we tie them all together. I'm going to call that health. So this is the next part of it. So every triangle, I've got 3 layers. So watch this. I'll come back to the chat if you're still on. I hope you're enjoying this.